Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do the 2021 end of the season garden tour. So we are going to go around and I'll show you what I have growing and are still growing and probably will not be growing soon. So let's take a look. Okay, we are going to start with the herb raised bed, and every year I pretty much grow about the same type of herb because one, a few of them are perennial, they just keep coming back every year, and two is these are the herbs that I use throughout the year and I use very often, so I always have them available. So let's take a look. So here I have sorrel. I love sorrel, guys. They're nice and limey and really nice flavor. You can eat them fresh, you can eat them with a salad or anything like that. So they're pretty neat plants. They grow all year, especially this time of the year when the weather is getting really cold. They seem to prefer the cooler temperature, so as soon as the temperature drops, they grow like crazy. And I have Cuban oregano. I love those things. They smell amazing. I make so many drinks and other stuff with them, and every time I have a cold, I'll just crush those up and I eat them, and yeah, it makes my throat feel a lot better. So for sore throat, I think that is a really neat plant. And then I have rosemary, which is covered up by my Malabar spinach. The Malabar spinach is gonna die pretty soon because they love the heat of the summer, but they cannot live in the winter time, so they're going to die soon. And I have my sage here. Sage is just a great plant. They're perennial. They grow all year long. In the cold temperature, they'll just wither down, and then in the spring they'll come right back. So it's a great plant to grow. I don't have a lot of uses for them, except I dry them up and put them in tea, and occasionally I'll cook with them, but that's about it. And I have some red leaf sorrel, red vein sorrel. Those are also perennial. They come back every year. They don't taste as good as the green sorrel because to me they're kind of a bit bitter, especially if the leaves are older. They're much bitter. So they're very pretty to grow, but I don't think they taste that great. Also, the texture is pretty tough when the leaves are older. So here are the Thai basil. And so guys, when I grow Thai basil, as you can see here, all of these here are just starting to form flowers, and that's because the whole entire summer I pluck all of the flowers off to keep them producing lots of leaves, and then I save one plant for the bees. And this one here, you can see there's lots of flowers. So I usually grow a few plants, and then I save one for the bees. And so the one I want the bees to have, I let them flower early. So if they flower early, they stop producing the large leaves, so they don't produce leaves much anymore after the flowers come out. But because the flower attract the bees and they come to the garden, they love the flowers, so I left one for them. And so you see the rest, they're just starting to have flowers because I stopped plucking flowers because the season is coming to an end, so I just basically let it go. But yeah, we're in Thanksgiving now, and the basil are still alive, so which is great. And then here we have my vegetable bed, and so all the lettuces are gone as soon as summer arrives, and then I replace the lettuces with all of these other cool temperature plants. So these are a Mizuna, a different type of Mizuna. I think these are the Japanese Mizuna. I forgot the actual name for it. And these are also Mizuna, but they have larger leaves. And then I have some in the back that have smaller leaves somewhere. The purple kind. So I grow the purple kind and the green kind. And Malabar spinach are just dying right now. And those are great summer plants, guys. So if you're looking for something that grow well in the hot temperature, hot climate, Malabar spinach is great. And here we have comfrey. I don't grow these to eat. I'm not sure if you can eat them, but I just grow these for the leaves so I can feed the worms and stuff, because these things grow like crazy, guys. They are like immortal. You can't even kill these things. I chop the entire plant down to nothing all the time, and they just keep coming back. It's just ridiculous. So those are one plant that you cannot kill. I mean, if you split the bulb at the bottom, they'll grow two. If you cut them down, they'll grow right back. And the flowers right here that they have, the bees love them. Like bumblebees would come here, honeybees and stuff like that. So they're neat plants to grow. They feed my worms because the leaves are massive. You can just pull them out like this, and then you can shred them up and put them in the compost pile or put it in the bed where you have your worms, and they can feed on those. So they're pretty neat plants to grow for many different purposes. And then here I have all kinds of different things mixed in together. I have asparagus. I've gotten a bunch of spears this year, finally. So after 3 years, I'm starting to get really large asparagus spears. So I left some of these here so that they can grow and develop more at the bottom. So next year I'll probably get more spears than this year. So grown asparagus, you have to have a lot of patience. You see, when the asparagus are this small and thin, they're not ready to, for you to pick them, because if you pick them, then they don't develop the root at the bottom and stuff like that, so they don't get really strong, so they don't grow well. So make sure you don't pick them until they're like probably the size of your pinky or larger. That way they have a healthy system at the bottom, and they will grow. But yeah, be patient. Don't harvest them in the first year, maybe not even in the second year. This is my 3rd year, and yeah, I finally got huge asparagus. Even then I still left a few to grow into ferns. They look like ferns. And then next year they will be much stronger. And then I have ginger, turmeric. Yeah, turmerics they don't do well in cold temperature, so they're gonna turn yellow and they may die. But I'm gonna harvest the bulb pretty soon. And my ginger, and then I have lemongrass. Guys, these are lemongrass clones, or I propagated these. So you cut, if you buy them at the stores, you cut them back, and then put the bulb, the bottom piece, into water, or just put them right straight into the ground, and then you keep cutting these leaves when they get big, and then they will grow these. So then you can also have sized lemongrass right here, and you can split those too. And I have like elephant ears. There's an avocado tree there that grew by just on its own, and I really love these here, guys. These are Upland Cress. They can grow all year, but they actually grow the best in the winter time. So as soon as the weather gets below 65 degrees Fahrenheit, they start to take off. And if you love watercress and you can't grow them because watercress has to grow in like moving water or like constantly wet places, then you can try to grow these because they taste very similar. They have that peppery flavor. They look a little bit similar too, but the texture is a little bit different. These are a little bit tougher than the watercress, but they grow well on land. They grow well all year, especially the cool months. So grow them, and I think you will be really happy because you're gonna get lots of fresh green leaves in the cool temperature where nothing else is growing. I'll show you a few more that I grow on the other side. And here I have some peppers. I think tonight it's gonna freeze, so they may not make it. Here's some more peppers right here, but these are gonna die pretty soon. Okay, talking about upland cress. So here, you see that I have a patch of upland cress, and they are super healthy right there. So when you grow these, you see they produce these leaves. They're nice and tender this time of the year, and again they have that nice peppery flavor. You can eat them fresh. I love them fresh because fresh is the best. You see, and when you pick them, they'll come right back. So the more you pick, the more they grow. So pick them often so that you're gonna get tender leaves and lots of leaves to use. Okay, and I have some peppers here. These are late, so they may not make it, to produce ripe fruits. And then I always grow radishes. I love radishes. These are the Asian Daikon radish, the purple kind. So they have a little bit of a purple stem. The bulb is purple as well. And with the Daikon radishes, they produce a lot of large leaves, and you can cook those leaves or you can eat them raw. So radishes are like one of those plants that are just, great to grow overall because you can eat all parts of them, and they grow fast. So I always eat the leaves. I cook them, I eat them in a salad. Sometimes you can pickle the stems too because they're nice and crunchy. And then here I have Tatsoi. Tatsois are great plants as well. They love the winter months, but they can also grow in the summer. I grew these in the summer before. They just don't grow as well as in the winter time, but they're great. They look pretty too once they grow super big and full. And then more peppers and then radishes in there as well. See, I have radishes everywhere. And here I have Swiss chard and a few volunteer stuff in there. I think those are volunteer radishes that the seeds dropped. And here is the raised bed that I'm preparing for the cool months. I have a lot of radishes again. These are Sakurajima radishes, and these can grow massive bulb, guys. They're like, sometimes they'll go up to like 15 to 20 pounds. But when I grow them, they don't grow that big. So I'll get like 5 pounds, which is still pretty big. And then I just place some spinach in there that are starting to grow right here. Mustard, and those are Mizuna. They're really strange Mizuna, but they taste like Mizuna, but they just look different. And then we have some Swiss chard right there. Those are great to grow in the cool months as well. They just don't mind the temperature. And here I have lots and lots of peppers. This is basically a pepper raised bed. And look at all those beautiful peppers hanging. I need to pick them today because tonight it's gonna go down to like the 30 degrees. Not gonna be very long, but it may freeze the peppers. And then I have these beautiful pumpkin peppers right here that I've been waiting all season for. Let me show you why. I love these things, guys. They're just so cute and pretty and tasty. So let me pick one for you. Look at that. You see? This is one of my newest variety that I created. And man, they're just lovely peppers, produce like crazy, look pretty, and then for Halloween I carved faces into here, so they look really cool. So the pods are like underneath, so you see it? And then occasionally you get a few that have like these beautiful stingers. Look at that. I love these things. They taste so good, and they're not very hot, but they do have a nice punch. Beautiful peppers. And these are the QueeNhi. Look at that, guys. Imagine those on your landscape as ornamental. They taste sweet. They have no heat in here, which is strange because last year this variety is very hot, and then this year they're not hot. So I'm taking a few of these to grow in my hydroponic system to see if the heat comes back, and if it doesn't, then I'll separate these as the non-hot variety. But look at them, so pretty, all kinds of different colors, very productive, not very big, so you can grow this in like a small container. You see, it's under a foot tall, but look how many fruits there are on there. And here are some more peppers. These are the StarrGazer. Look at those peppers hanging. I need to pick those today and dry them. And more peppers here. I grow a lot of peppers every year. And check these out, guys. This is one of my favorite variety. This is called the Sweet Linzo. And you see, look how they look. They look very dangerous. but they have no heat. Well, not no heat, but very little heat. They're nice and sweet, but they look so pretty. Look at that. The pods are just hanging like that. They're very nice and long. See, the stems are so long. So when you pick them, they're really easy to pick. So I'd love this variety for the flavor and the way they look and how productive they are. Look how pretty that is. Here's the Lemon StarrBurst. So guys, I have a Lemon StarrBurst contest, so make sure you enter. I'm gonna send these pods out pretty soon. These are pretty, guys. Look at this. How pretty that is. Beautiful pods. And the thing I love about the Lemon StarrBurst is like they're very, very productive. They grow really nice. And then, you know, on top, you look at them. If once they're green, you don't see any pods. And then you lift them up, there's hundreds of pods. And then once they turn yellow, they look like little lemons. That's why they call Lemon StarrBurst. And look at that, guys. The most beautiful peppers ever. And here's some more peppers. These are my white Thai varieties. I love those things that grow them every year and grow them everywhere. Because I just love those things. My family love them. Oh, I forgot to show you my fruit trees. I always grow persimmons. I mean, not always, but you grow one tree and they'll last for like a while. And these produce lots of beautiful persimmons. Very nice and delicious. And I have a few pear trees, all different varieties. One tree has 6 varieties because I keep grafting them. This is the Olympic Giant right here. And then I grafted a Shinko variety on it. This is a Shinko right here. And it produced a few fruits on that for me this year. So I'm gonna do more grafting this season. So here's more peppers right here. And more of my sorrel, because I love sorrel. You see how well they grow in the wintertime? And then I have Culantro. I grew this Culantro right here. You see, the sorrel helps shade the Culantro from the sun, because these things they don't like too much sun. So if there's something that kind of shade them a little bit, they will grow nicely. So all season I have been eating Culantro. So I think there are 2 bushes in here, but the bushes can get really big. So the leaves grow all the time. So I get lots of leaves all throughout the year. And then I have mustard here and some radishes there. That one's massive. And arugula. I have been growing arugula for the past 5 years, I think. Every season they produce lots of seeds that I collect, and then I spread them right back into the same area, and then they just keep growing. And if you grow arugula and let them get big, they almost look like little bushes. You see here? They're like little bushes. And then when you pick the leaves, more leaves come back. So I have been eating arugula since probably July. I mean, it's weird that they grow in a hot July in Texas, but yeah, they just grow fine under the shade of the fruit tree. So yeah, you see those are huge. They're pretty tall, and I love the way they taste. So when they get to this age, for some reason they're not as bitter, which is great. And then I have succulents that I propagated all over the place. This is a fruit trees that is 6 in 1. I have all kinds of different varieties on here. So this pear tree in the summertime, it produces like 6 different type of Asian pears. So we got Olympic Giant right here. I just grafted that. I got 20th Century, Hosui, Jojuro, and Shinseiki, and then Shinko. So there, all of them are on the same tree. More peppers, and let me show you my arugula bed that I just started. Look at that. These are arugula, and I just spread the seeds all over the place. And you see that arugula bush? Mustard here, giant mustard, and Swiss chard. Look at how big that thing is. again, the arugula bush that I mentioned. You see, look how big this thing is. This is one bush. This is one bush. See how tall that is. So every time you pull leaves, more leaves come back. So I never run out of arugula. And I have my other pear tree. This is Shinko. And you see I started to do the graft already. So usually I do it in January, but I'm trying it early this year. So I'm grafting Olympic Giant there. I have a few already successful grafts on here. And I even grafted an apple, guys. This is an apple right here onto my pear. And it worked. I did the bud graft. And you see the leaves of this apple? Let me show you where the apple came from. Here's the apple tree right here. I just took a little bud and I grafted onto that one. And I started new persimmon. And again, guys, here we have some Upland Cress and then more arugula. I'm just growing that everywhere. So that is basically it, guys. That is my garden. I grow a lot of fruit trees, a lot of vegetables because I love eating them fresh. So yeah, grow some fresh vegetable. Check out what time of the year they do well and plan around that. That way you could always have vegetable all year. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.